The Subaru Outback is one of the most capable cars available that you can pick up because of its practicality. It can move things, it can move your family comfortably, but not only that, when you get stuck in a hard place out in the trails, it can conquer those as well. Well, today we have the Subaru Outback Touring XT trim, which is the highest trim available for the Outback. Let's dive into it and see if this should be the latest pickup of a crossover SUV. Starting off in the front of this 2025 Subaru Outback, it's largely unchanged from prior years, but nonetheless, it does have single LED beam headlights with some nice light diffusion going on here. And then you've got your separate turn signal there, some fog lights at the bottom, as well as functional venting going throughout the grille. Massive Subaru logo right in the center there, as well as a nice silver lip at the bottom. Overall, the front end looks like an Outback, like it always has, but it's practical, it's modern, and overall, it doesn't look too bad. It's also got some lines going through the hood here, so yeah, it's a little stylish. Coming along to the side here, we do have 18-inch wheels, and the wheels are very Subaru-esque. You've got the silver and the black contrasting in between them. Overall, they look pretty good. They're not writing home to anybody, but they don't look bad. And you'll see that the grille kind of blends right into the fender flare. So you've got this plastic piece that basically outlines the entire bottom of the Outback. Nice part about the plastic, as I always like to say, is when you scratch it up off-road, you can burn it a little bit and it'll look right like new. But moving on past that, you do have silver side view mirrors. Now there are no cameras on this. It does not have 360 camera, but the silver trim along the windows, it runs right into the mirror. And overall, it looks pretty cool that way. You got lane departure warning, as well as on the inside here, you've got some driver's assistance safety functions as well. Moving a little bit back further, we do have not entirely paint to match door handles, but they look good. They've got that silver there again as well. Doesn't look too bad. Now, one thing that we do really want to point out is the roof. This has a very nice roof rack. You can actually easily, you just pull this up and you can adjust it, you can put it away, whatever you need to do, and then you just pop it back in and you're off to the races. Overall, really cool design. I like that a lot. But coming back further, we got our gas cap here, push to open, and it doesn't require premium fuel. Gotta love that. As you're coming back to the side, you can see that your taillights do wrap into the side of the body. So you've got your turn signal here to let people know as well in the back here. But there's your brake lights and then your reverse lights. Overall, they look pretty good. They're pretty stylish. But then below that, you've got Outback and Touring XT. So everybody knows that you've got the highest trim available. And then one thing that's gripe for me, because you do have a little bit of a spoiler here with your brake light, this can be moved up here. Hide the windshield wiper. Looks cleaner, looks better in my opinion. But then we've got our Subaru logo, Subaru all-wheel drive, because this is full-time all-wheel drive, which I love. Up here you do have another camera on the antenna there, as well as a camera right here for your reverse. You've got a little bit of contrast with your rear diffuser here. Can't see any tailpipes, no big deal, don't need to. How about we check out the inside and see what the Outback has to offer? Right off the bat, I am impressed with Subaru here. This is the highest trim, so it's a little bit more luxury-like than the lower trims, but they do use some premium materials in this model here. I love the brown, the silver, the black, the piano black. It all just looks really good together. But as for functions here, you do have one-touch operation for all your windows, your side view mirror controls. You can also pull the mirror in, and then you've got a silver painted door lever, as well as dual function memory control for your seats. Awesome. Now the seats themselves look fantastic too. That brown leather just really pops. It sticks out very nicely. So you've got the brown body with the black on the sides here, and you do have 14-way power adjustable seats. So that's fantastic. Not to mention they are also heated and ventilated, so that's great too. The dash itself is also beautiful. You know, you've got the silver vents, brown leather, black soft touch molded rubber. Very nice overall with the white stitching. Love it. On the left hand side here, you've got your trunk release button, your digital gauge cluster brightness, as well as a button to turn off the easy open for the rear hatch, because it does have that. And then on the left side here, you have a trip reset button. And the steering wheel itself is leather wrapped on this higher trim, and it's also fully heated 360 degrees around it. But on the left hand side, we've got our multimedia functions. On the right hand side, we've got our driver's assistance functions. And then also on this Outback, we even have paddle shifters. That's pretty sweet, huh? But moving on beyond that, we've got very typical stalks going on here. One is for our lights on the left hand side. Then on the right hand side, we've got both controls for our front and rear windshield wipers. Beyond the steering wheel, we do have 2 physical gauges for your RPMs and your miles per hour, as well as a very small digital info screen there. You can cycle through different things and get different information. Now in the center of the Subaru Outback, it's all relatively standard. You've got your electronic parking brake at the bottom here, a aux port, a Type-C data and power port, as well as a Type-A USB port. You've got this camera view button here, however, it is only for the rear. You do not get to look anywhere else, so that is how it is. But then you've got your gear selector, which all the way at the bottom is manual so that you can use those paddle shifters. A couple good sized cup holders for sure, as well as a good sized center console with a 12-volt cigarette lighter jack, as well as a CD player in 2025. That's a little crazy, huh? And then you also have another little storage spot that you can put paper, because that's all that's going to fit in there. But up beyond that, we do have an 11.9-inch infotainment screen, and I'm going to tell you right off the jump, I hate it. Can't stand this infotainment screen. I don't like Subaru software. It's very slow to respond to things. It doesn't have a lot of things, but what it does have actually, that some other Subarus, especially in 2024, did not have, is it has wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. So that's great, at least you get that. But moving up higher, with our rear view mirror here, we've got an auto dimming rear view mirror with 3 home link buttons, but it also has a digital rear view mirror. So that's pretty good. But up higher, we've got a place to store our glasses, as well as an SOS button, and the Touring XT, actually premium and above, has a power moonroof. So this one's got that as well. This is for your dome lights. Nothing too crazy. Overall though, the interior of the Subaru Outback, I think it looks absolutely phenomenal, especially at this trim level. I know if you're getting the entry-level trim, it's nowhere near as nice. Even some of the middle trims, they're not quite as nice as this, but this Touring XT trim is for sure. All right, so in the rear of the Subaru Outback XT, the doors themselves are very similar to the front doors, actually basically 100% the same. No problem there because the front doors look fantastic. But you actually have a tri-pouch here. So you've got a big pouch in the back, a small pouch over here, and then another small pouch there. That's pretty cool. What else is cool though, is that the family in the back also gets heated seats. That's pretty sick. So you've got heated seats for both passengers, as well as a Type-C port and a Type-A port. What's missing back here though is cup holders, or is it? Right here, you pull this down and you got cup holders, as well as a good solid place to rest, very cushiony, and that's great. But you know, for those long trips, I get exhausted in the back seat. I've really got to figure out how to get more comfortable. Well, the Outback's got me covered, because there's a little lever here, and we can sit up straight, which is terrible, or we can lean back, which is great. Let's check out what's going on in the rear hatch, because it has tons of space since it's that wagon style. All right, so in the rear, you do have a little button that you can press right above the license plate. You just tap it, it opens right up for you. Then you've got a large rubber Outback mat, which is pretty sweet. Below it, we do actually have some roadside assistance stuff. So you've got your jack, your tools, and also you actually have a spare tire. That's pretty great. Aside from that though, you've got this little thing that you can put down, and then you've got some hooks that you can hang here for grocery bags or whatever you may need. A little bit of storage on the other side, as well as a 12-volt outlet once again. But what's even better, and that I actually really like about the Outback, is you've got these levers on each side here, and then you pull them and it just flips the seat down. No other work required. And you actually get a nice, long, flat surface there when you do that. So absolutely fantastic. Overall, the rear of the Outback is very capable of doing lots of things, whether it's moving wood, moving suitcases, moving groceries, whatever you need to do, the Outback has you covered. But we may not have an eggplant today, but I have an arm. So let's find out how terrible this is. Okay, it definitely pinched pretty hard, but it did stop and it went back up, so that's good at least, but I would suggest you don't get any appendages stuck in there. All right, well, that does it for the interior and exterior of this Outback. How about we take her for a spin and see how she handles on the road? All right, now we're behind the wheel of this 2025 Subaru Outback Touring XT. And you know, it is comfortable. It's very comfortable, especially the seat. You know, it is the highest trim, so it has a little bit nicer of a seat, but nonetheless, the seat is very comfortable. And you know, we have a very windy day out here in the Midwest, and honestly, very minimal wind noise, very minimal road noise, and the engine itself is just whisper quiet. So that's always a pleasure. I have been driving this around for a couple days though, and I will say, the CVT transmission still acts like a CVT transmission. There's been times it's incredibly late to shift. I had one shift come in at like 6,500 RPM. So not a fan of that. But outside of that, you know, the steering is very responsive, and it's not too light, but it doesn't really have a whole lot of weight behind it. I would like a little bit more weight behind it. That's just me though. Now, as for the drive feel itself, you know, the throttle's pretty well responsive. It's not the fastest accelerating car ever, but it is fast enough, especially for highway and everything like that. It does, on paper, have like a 5.6 second 0 to 60. So you're getting up to 60 in a pretty decent amount of time, especially for a turbocharged 4-cylinder. You would expect a little bit slower performance out of a vehicle this size, but no, it gets there. Not a big problem at all. Honestly, my biggest gripe about the Outback is gonna have to just be the infotainment center. I can't stand Subaru's infotainment center at all. I don't like how certain heating and air controls are built into the touchscreen. Now, I will give them some points because you can change the temperature at least, and you can access your rear defrost by buttons, as well as you do have a physical volume knob too. So I'll give them that much at least, but there are tons of things that you have to do through the infotainment center. Overall though, I mean, this is one of the nicest interiors I've ever seen on a Subaru, and it's just very classy and extremely comfortable. Lots of different features to keep everybody in the cabin happy as well. So big ups on that. Love the build quality. None of it seems cheap, and for a relatively cheap price point for a brand new car, you know, not too much to complain about for sure. Yeah, when it comes to braking itself, the brakes just seem like normal brakes. They're not bad, they're not great. They're fine. They're okay. And it does have auto hold, so that's great. I love that both front passengers also have heated and ventilated seats. You know, it's just a nice, well-built car, and they thought about just about all the features that you would want.
Does it have a eco mode?
Steve remembered the one thing that is very strange about this Subaru Outback. Typically, you know, if you get in the Crosstrek, you even other Outbacks or others, the Forester, you know, Subaru typically has their sand, snow, and you know, their different drive modes. On this one, you actually only get one mode, and it's called X mode, and it only works at low speeds, but if you turn it on, it'll go in and out of it. So when you get about 20 miles per hour, it disables it, and then if you get back to there, it'll re-enable it. But it's basically just for off-roading, so if you're climbing rocks or, you know, whatever, that's when you would turn it on. It's pretty strange it doesn't have a snow mode, huh, Steve?
Yeah, well, I guess it's because they're all-wheel drive.
Yeah, I mean, Subaru's known for having like one of the best all-wheel drive systems.
Yeah, but the other competitors catching up.
Yeah. So what Subaru needs to do in order to get ahead is to drop the CVT.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, which is I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll get there. But speaking of that, maybe we should have you get in the driver's seat, see what you think of this Outback, and also learn something about the powertrain.
Well, for the 2025 Subaru Outback, they offer two powertrain options. For the basics model, they offer the non-turbo 2.5 liter box engine 4-cylinder and only produce 182 horsepower and 176 foot-pound of torque.
I don't like it.
It's really slow. You ready for this? 0 to 60?
Yeah, let's hear it.
0 to 60 for the base model is 8.8 seconds.
Gee.
That's very close to the base Civic.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, for this, it's a big size, right? So, well, but for this top-of-the-line model, it is a 2.4 liter turbocharged box engine, 4-cylinder. It produces 260 horsepower and 277 foot-pound of torque. 0 to 60, well, you said it's 5.6.
Was that wrong?
It's close, you know. Yeah. You didn't do your homework?
I did some homework.
It's 6 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it's not bad.
I think I was reading real world tests.
The engine itself is really similar to a WRX engine, but the WRX engine actually has 11 more horsepower.
Ooh.
Yeah, but the price is actually about the same.
Yeah. And in,
So you know more than the price. How about tell us about the price?
well, in terms of pricing, there's actually 9 trim levels for the Outback in 2025, which is just crazy.
Yeah, that's why I don't talk about it, because I don't remember all these things.
Well, the base trim, which I wouldn't so much suggest, but that one comes in at $30,315. What's crazy is there's 9 trim levels, and really the pricing's it doesn't jump all that much. Premium, which is the second one, comes in at $32,590. Then you have the Onyx Edition, which is $37,500. Limited, which is $39,250. Limited XT, $39,250. Don't know what the difference is between those two. They're the exact same price. And then you've got Onyx Edition XT, which is $40,755. Wilderness, which is $41,255, Touring, which is $41,740, and finally, what we're driving today, the Touring XT, comes in at $44,190.
Well, let's talk about the mile per gallon, which is my favorite part. How much money you can save. George is always talk about how much money you spend.
Yeah.
There's a difference between Asian and white people. So for the mile per gallon for the non-turbo one, it's 26 in the city and 32 on the highway.
I mean, I'd hope so. It's only got 182 horsepower.
Exactly, yeah.
I've got a lawnmower with more horsepower than that.
You got a Honda lawnmower?
Yeah.
For the turbo one, it's 22 miles per gallon for the highway city, and then 29 for the highway. Well, for the city, I think it's still acceptable. Especially 0 to 60 is only 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
You know, the car's confused though, because I'm looking right now, Steve, and it's telling me that you're getting 11.9 miles per gallon. So what's right? Is Subaru right, or is this Subaru right?
They're both wrong.
They're both wrong?
Yeah, I know. How can you get 11 miles per gallon? You know, like even my Land Cruiser would not get. Actually, my Land Cruiser got 11 miles per gallon.
Yeah, I've got a GX, and
Now it's 12 miles per gallon.
Hey, you're doing better. Even my GX gets 15 miles per gallon. So hopefully this car is just wrong.
Yeah, hopefully. So let's talk about the ground clearance and towing.
Okay.
Josh, you have that?
Yeah, I mean, the Outback isn't necessarily meant to be off-roading, but like if you get stuck in a spot, it'll help you out, and it'll especially help you out because you do have 9.5 inches of ground clearance, which is pretty solid. It's pretty good. But not only that, you know, if you want to go backpacking, or not backpacking, but if you want to go camping, you can also tow a trailer or something like that, and the turbocharged version can actually tow up to 3,500 pounds. Don't get me wrong though, with this CVT transmission, if you're wanting to tow stuff all the time, I'd probably go with something else.
Yeah, the CVT is horrible. It's still horrible. Especially Nissan and Subaru. I believe they come from the same company that who make the CVT. And you can actually feel the CVT is not even shifting. You know, like I fought it, it's just not trying to shift.
There we go. It finally shifted at 5,200 RPM.
Yeah, I had to let it go and make them shift.
Maybe, so we should only drive it with the paddle shifters then.
That would be save the transmission? No. But anyway, so for the CVT, all you have to do is just do more maintenance to it. Like some people recommend 50,000, some people recommend 30,000. And the manufacturer normally recommend like 60, 70. And the manufacturer is not always right.
Yeah, they're usually overly optimized.
Yeah. The driving, the steering is really boring, to be honest. Acceleration is there. It's perfect for regular car, you know. The space, I love the space. Actually, I really love the design. The exterior design and interior design is awesome. Like, I don't even remember when was the last time that I have driven a Subaru that's nice.
Right.
With
Probably
that price
never.
tag.
Yeah, probably never.
Yeah, probably never. The Subaru Outback is crazy. It got nothing in there.
Nothing. Yeah, it's boring.
It's only 11 horsepower more than this. And it costs like what, 40 grand?
Yeah. Terrible.
The most of the part that I love the most is the roof rack. You know how annoying is it if you have a roof rack and the wind noise? Like you can hear from the roof because it's like boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
You know? I had that for my wife's cross track before, and she hated it. She asked me to take it off. And the funny part is we never use it. Well, even on the day that we saw it, never used the roof rack. Yeah, the roof rack is great. This design is great. I think it's patent. No other manufacturer can copy that design. Besides that, I love the car so much. You know, just except two things. Like the screen is so slow that I want to punch like the screen. You know.
I agree with you.
For example, you have an old phone, right? If it's so slow, you just don't want to throw the phone like in the garbage. That's how I feel about this screen.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
And the second thing is the CVT. And that's it. That's the only thing that will make me not to buy this car. There's only two.
In conclusion, the 2025 Subaru Outback is actually an amazing vehicle. It's very comfortable. The price is absolutely affordable. You know, the driving it's a pleasure. It's not bad. It's not fun, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. You have great visibility. It's a quiet ride. And, you know, if you're looking for a new crossover SUV, I would suggest going and checking out the Outback, especially since you can get it for under $50,000. Smash up the likes, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next video.